What's the definition of success in that period when I was growing up? It's about making money. I call myself a political refugee because of apartheid. You realize that there's a lot more than just purely chasing the dollar.
What's your view on the new age AI?
I think AI is going to be here forever. It's going to happen. It's like the Industrial Revolution. If I had AI when I was 20, imagine the things that would have helped me. So that's why I find it so interesting.
What are the learnings from your failures in your life?
Resilience. Yes, we all have failures. I had my failures. Yes, it can be very frustrating, very annoying. But look at all the success people in the world. Why are they successful? Because they learn from failures.
Top 3 things one need to create or embed in their normal lifestyle. What do we do?
Yeah, look, as you get older, we all formulate opinions. We talk about it.
Before we get started, please subscribe so that you never miss an episode of our cutting-edge contemporary conversations. Thank you.
Welcome, Ron. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Dev, and thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for your time. And as I was reading your CV, it is a long breadth of CV, which can't be covered in one breath, but I would like you to share a bit of your story.
Sure.
The way do you want to present and how has life been to you?
Very interesting, Dev. So, although I'm Asian-looking, I was born in South Africa. Immigrated here to Australia, and that was, I jokingly say to a lot of people, I arrived in '83, so I call myself a political refugee because of apartheid. But unlike the New South Africans, I call them commercial refugees. They left when Mandela was released. So architect by profession, property developer of interest, mentor, educator late in life as you gain more wisdom. And you realize that there's a lot more than just purely chasing the dollar. And it keeps you motivated. So I have a long career, over 40, close to 45 years in the industry, in property. 50%, I would say, I spent back in South Africa when Mandela was released. Did a lot of work in South Africa, a number of my own projects, but a lot of community work as well. Restitution of land, community development. I found that besides property, there was more than just purely the dollar. It's good to make the dollar, but it's life. It's about balance.
In terms of the mindset of achieving a financial freedom of understanding that you can do through multiple ways and means.
Sure.
And as you are in initial part of your career, you are thinking of what should I do? How can I achieve that end outcome? How has that pathway been for you? Was it straight line or a zigzag or complex or? Well,
it wasn't that complex when I say that. Coming from an Asian background, it's peer pressure. It's about being successful. So what's the definition of success in that period when I was growing up? It's about making money, right? And become notorious for that. Yes, I did achieve that. But was it the most important thing in life? There's other aspects to life. So I did in very early stages, did a number of shopping centres, office blocks, came back to Australia, did the same thing, but I did more consulting. Felt that there was a better way because I can expose my ideas. One of the key things, Dev, in terms of property development, we all chase the dollar, but I believe property development should be looked differently. It's about community. It's about getting the right development to support communities. It's if you can get that right, the formula right, make the dollar, but plus, helping communities where you're developing. So it's become my philosophy after a period of time. Going back further, it's continual learning about how can I improve the sector I know, and hence a lot of work I do now is in artificial intelligence.
You have on the journey you have brought your knowledge into the form of books also.
Yes.
So can you also give a bit of an idea that, why did you write books, first of all? And then what was the crucial moment that, yes, I need to write something and then bring my thoughts on the piece of paper?
Yeah, look, it's a very interesting question. When I did a number of developments, when I started out as an architect, I wanted to learn about property development, but there were hardly any books around. Probably one American book that I could pick up, but it was more academic. It wasn't practical. Yes, I was successful financially, but also lost a lot of money through the Asian crisis in that period. And it came to me realize my success was basically I was in a town where there was a shortage of demand, and that helped me. But when you get critical moments like things beyond your control, like you get those financial crises, what is the balance? So without that around, I came back to Australia and I started writing books about the whole process of property to help people to ensure they follow the right path. The critical moments, how do you protect yourself? Because property development is risky. And there's a long gestation period. It's like real estate. If you're buying established real estate, location. Property development's timing. So I started looking at that a bit more in depth, given my experiences in that period. Yeah, and that started documenting books. Wiley is my publisher, and subsequent to that, they asked me to write a few more books in following up with that. So that led to a number of opportunities in China, back to Africa, even up to Vietnam, Egypt, in looking at international projects, because that was another interest from mine, is to how do we get a property development or infrastructure development up, right? And it's all about a process. How do you fund it? So that was an interesting journey. Yeah, so in terms of, as I said, where I'm heading now is but I don't take as much property on as development. I focus more on how can I part knowledge of my experience to others so they don't fall into the same trap.
And if you can talk about how has different geographies, as you ventured into different countries, yes, the process would be same, of the pathway will be very similar across, but what kind of learnings did you had working in Egypt versus Vietnam versus China?
Very, very interesting. It's each country has its own nuances. It has its own values. It has its own systems. It's different layers of bureaucracy. What I learned significantly dealing, especially in third world countries, is the amount of corruption. Very difficult to get projects up there. And it was a challenge. But that's all part of the learning journey that I decided after a period of time. It was very difficult to do developments or advise about property in other countries. Just the whole approach was different. So that's why when I came back to Australia, I just focused on what I knew that I can predict what's going to happen.
And as you talked about that in property development, there's a long gestation period, which means you need to skill up on the virtue of being patient. And that virtue of being patient is relevant across many sectors, many roles in corporate life or public life. You need to build that. So how has being a patient person have come to you naturally, or have you developed that virtue in yourself?
I think there's a balance when you ask me that question. I'm pretty impatient when it gets to a project. It needs to move because capital is tied up. But after a period of time, you create little strategies to overcome that risk, right? And this is where my teachings come into. Limit your capital, leverage capital the best you can against time. Coming back to the patient side, you do have to have patience in property. And as you know, even if you buy established property, you're only going to get your gain, your capital gain, after a period of, like in Australia, historically, property or residential property doubles up every 10 years, as we can see. But with property development, you can speed up that process because you're leveraging.
Yes.
Right? But again, you still need patience.
It's a smarter strategy, but still need patience for sure. And critical players, because, and again, in that running large projects, you need to interact with people of different mindsets.
Yes.
And stakeholder engagement is very varied of different styles of leadership.
Yes.
So one is, what's the mindset of a developer to sit with different kind of people and interact at their level or meet them where they are at?
Sure.
So how do you inculcate that skill set as well, and what is that all about?
Okay, that's, again, very interesting. Being an architect, I deal with two aspects and a property developer. So I'm molded into one. So if you're a property developer, you're dealing a lot more with consultants and professionals. But I follow through. Being an architect, I've got a bit more balance in understanding what happens during construction. Right? Because if you take a property, there's about 90 different elements or businesses that are involved in delivering that project. And how do you manage it? Okay, yes, you can have a builder. They've got subcontractors. They've got consultants they've got to deal with. They've got council people they've got to deal with. And it's coming, if I'm stepping back, how did I get my projects off the ground is by understanding how people think at different levels. So in terms of, and it's all about communication. You know, you got to say the right things. Don't get people upset, right? Even when you go to council, don't fight. You know, just ask them for help, and they'll help you. So the process, at a very young age, I graduated. I remember dealing with a regional shopping centre, and although I was not the project architect, I was the design architect, and it was a fast-track project, and at times the senior architect wasn't there. I was called into site. And I learned the best way to deal with problems is to ask people with expertise what is their opinion, and then select the best opinion from there. And that is probably, in my experience, the best way to best get the best outcome, because now you're forming a team.
Yeah.
You know, by asking people, you're showing respect, and you respect their advice. But you do it with a group, and you select the best opinion of that, and then follow through.
But still, working with the larger group of that many 90 elements of building a large project, people have to follow on the leadership of one person or two people who are leading the project. So how do you inculcate or earn that respect / leadership role in that group dynamics, so that you deliver on time and at cost and all of those things? So what kind of leadership do you believe in, and what kind of leadership style do you use on a regular basis?
Well, I was taught by my mother, you have 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen to the problems, right? But if you're going to get a difficult person on the other side, you've got to be smart enough how to handle it. Right? So it's the important thing is to garner the right opinion, and you make the final decision. But it's pointless in me being dogmatic about something and I'm not listening to, you know, as I mentioned, property development is risky. If I'm not listening to an agent who's telling me, look, this is not what they require in this community, and you won't sell the units, I've got to listen, right? It's no use formulating your own opinion, right? Because everybody else's opinion might be the right way, or could be the wrong way, but it's a matter of getting multiple opinions. That's what I say, listen twice, speak once.
What are similar mantras you have in terms of, you know, one is achieving leadership positions and then maintaining those. So how do you maintain that sense of respect, sense of understanding, sense of growth, of what you're doing when you are in that position?
My opinion on that is, as I get on, is to understand what I'm getting into. To get a very good knowledge. If I'm running a project, I know I've got to understand the depth of that project, understand all aspects of a project. Once I have that knowledge, I can formulate my own direction. And knowingly, if leadership is required, I do have a balanced viewpoint upon certainty I can back it up. So the important thing is to get into the depth of a project. And how do you get into it? Purely research. I always say to my mentees, if you get on the project, do your research. Right? It's fine to go to an architect and say, I want to create this property development and I want to put this apartment block up.
Yeah.
But without research, what does the architect know? He needs to be directed. It's got to be 10 one-bedroom units, 30 two-bedroom units. But what's the balance? Right? So it's all about research. And you know where property is going at the moment, especially in higher density, we have a lot of commercial below now.
Yeah.
So it's a balance of that. A lot of developments I see today, they just, you see a development go up, you see the ground level empty for a number of years, but was there research done? What are the needs? Yeah.
And as you have pivoted in your businesses, as you have invested in technology projects and you have I've done a lot of work on tech side of it. What's your view on the new age AI?
Yes.
And people are trying to capture that opportunity.
Sure.
Was it the two category of people? One is saying it's too much hyped, or is it just here to stay?
I think AI is going to be here forever. It's going to happen. You can't stop it. It's like the Industrial Revolution. There's going to be change. But I also was involved, speaking about technology and blockchain technology. Now, there's a very interesting aspect. Why I say that AI is going to be here for a while, if it is governed properly. The problem with blockchain technology, there was no governance. That's why it's fallen. It fell into the hands of cryptocurrency. That's why you haven't seen it elevate. It's great technology. But with AI, I think there is a leaning. As I read more and more and get into depth, there's more talk about governance, setting boundaries, rules. And I think that is so important to ensure that AI is used as a tool, but correctly. Right. So coming back to the question of AI in my specific field, I'm looking at a bit more in depth where the direction is going. We have a massive housing problem, right, in Australia. And I don't think it's purely just Australia itself, but we are going to higher density. So I am writing another book. It's called Intelligent Density. It's about application of AI and ESG, which will change the whole direction we're going to develop in the future. Let me give you, for example, everything I mentioned about research, data. All right. So if I'm developing a property in the CBD, we can just go vertically and what the council says to you, but the elements of that property, how can I validate what I'm going to put up? Because my investors rely on validation.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where AI comes in. It can speed up the whole process.
The market research.
Yes. Yeah. So it's the way you do it because AI is spreading. It covers so many areas. I mean, for example, it's still important though, if I'm doing a big shopping center, I would go to an economist or if somebody's doing deep research. That would cost 20, 30,000. But I can now get a broad overview of the research. And if I want to delve further into it, yes, I would use an economist to look at it deeply. But yeah, AI can help you in a very preliminary stage before you acquire the site, for example. It can tell you whether it's going to work or not.
And in terms of people who are running smaller projects, how do they understand AI in the property, not just development, but in more of property sales space or general? So what do you see that the usage there?
In terms of, I don't think so much in installing. AI becomes, because that's more personal. You still need the human factor when it comes to selling. I find it probably in the whole process before the project is completed, right? So coming to smaller developments, yeah, AI can help you with the research. You know, where's supply and demand? Where's the absorption rate? You know, what is the growth factor in that area? Not only now, but what is the predictive analysis of that area in future? Because if people aren't developers, going to find difficulty in selling their product because the affordability factor comes in. But they're going to rent, so they're going to hold a lot of those units. So they've got to think a bit further and say, what is the predictive analysis of the future? If I hold this property for 10 years, where's it sitting? So AI comes into play there as well.
We talked about the housing problem and challenge, the availability of houses and the supply and the demand side of it, and affordability as well. So in WA, it's a very situation where people are seeking more housing to buy, but there are not enough properties. The rental are much higher. There are many reasons of challenges. What do you see this wacky problem to be solved of that everybody should be able to afford a decent house in a decent suburb?
It's a very challenging in Australia. I think what has happened is that due to COVID, my feeling is that the government was very reactionary in funding a lot of projects after that, without taking into account the supply chain problem, which, and I've seen it many times, a number of builders going into liquidation because they would fix their price for a certain project, and that's also partly to blame with the banks, right? Because they only want fixed price contracts. So with the supply chain problem, you got fixed prices, but you know, and your sales price is fixed. In the end, you say, well, I can't sell these, right? And therefore, it's going to cost me more to build than what I'm going to sell for. So it poses a massive problem. So how do we resolve it? The only way I see it, and I've been talking a lot about that mainly to builders, is to look at, we've got to change our mindset. Let's take WA, for example, the double brick, right? Everybody believes in that because it's sturdy and that. We've got to start looking at prefabrication. We've got to look at a modular system. And yeah, there are a number of builders starting to look at that. And I think it's probably the way we're going to be able to answer that. But also we've got to look at saying, well, where's the supply chain coming from? We can't just rely on China. You know, we've got to start looking at our own manufacturing of factory-made products that we can start looking, that we know that's going to be available. I mean, you take the period of BGC, Len Buckridge. I mean, he brought housing to a certain level of affordability. He manufactured everything in Western Australia. But all of a sudden, because builders and developers want everything cheaper, they bought things from China. So why can't we reverse that? To make sure that our supply chain, we don't run into the same problems in the future.
And in this geopolitical environment right now we are in, at the verge of war happening, and supply chain is also further impacted. And how does that create another supply issues or challenges from a supply chain point of view for us? And how does decoupling and producing locally supports the idea of being more sovereign?
Well, if you take, for example, if we're going to get modular components manufactured in China, shipping costs is going to escalate. Once I say modular, okay, you can get very cheap products in China, but you've got to take that into account if you're into property development, because the logistics factor comes into play, the shipping of the products. Let me give you, for example, I've been involved in hotel projects and to housing projects. Hotels are perfect for modular because everything is standardized.
You're right.
Right? But guess what? The further factor is that that particular module can be fitted out with the curtains, with the floor finishes, with the fittings, it's a plug and play. Now, let's reverse that and let's look at apartments. The economics don't work.
Yeah.
For the simple reason is that it's 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. So how do you deliver that? And this is where you lose money, is because all you're shipping is fresh air. Because a bedroom, you don't decorate it.
No.
So you can see the economics not working there. But coming back to your question, definitely, obviously with the geopolitics and the war, petrol prices are going to increase, so shipping costs are going to increase. Yeah, sure, obviously in our location as well, it will affect it, but to what extent? Only a crystal ball will be able to tell us that.
From a leadership journey point of view, what do you think are the biggest lessons for you in terms of interacting with different set of people, your communication style, your leadership styles? What's your final gist of learnings from interacting and delivering many projects?
The simple answer to that is I speak from experience and speak the truth. Trust is important. So what you see is what you get, and yeah, we can be very upfront, but if you're abrupt, nobody's going to listen to you. But you've got to deliver it in a nice way. A bit more empathetically, but with a bit more understanding where that person is sitting at that particular time, and that you get the best out of it. Everything that you do, whenever you run a project, you're going to need people, but people got to respect you. If you're too bold, too rash, people disrespect you.
Now, I've seen you speak on public forums multiple times, and you're doing a few events here and there where you speak on multiple forums. What's your thought process when you are preparing for a keynote speech or a presentation, and when you wanted to present in front of hundreds of people? So what's your preparation leading up to the event?
Sure. Again, it comes back to research and knowing what the target audience is, what level they're at. So understanding those two aspects is very important. Research what you know, because if you're going to speak about something, you've got to back it up. It's like all my books I write. How do I back up every point I make? So part of delivery is backing up what you're saying. The other part, as I said, it's your audience. What level are they? And sometimes you do get a mix. So it's a difficult one to balance. But yeah, it's understanding your audience and delivering the subject matter so people can understand.
And how do you maintain the stage presence and control and have that format of delivery of the presentation? One is content, what you're delivering, which is research and knowledge. But how do you deliver it perfectly? Delivery
is the best way of delivering any subject matter. As I said, if you know about the product or what you're talking about and you've researched and you understand it, it comes naturally. By scripting something that's too in-depth, that you don't completely comprehend yourself, can be a problem. So yes, I do use PowerPoints, obviously for communication, but it's also prompting me to speak about that specific point. But I do need to understand it. So it's all about your knowledge base, understanding what you're talking about.
I will also want to learn a bit more, ask that question on group dynamics. So when you are in rooms with different people, it's a large group setting, and the team dynamics are not very perfect. Everybody has different
Opinions,
competing priorities, and it's not very healthy at that stage. So how do you have robust conversation in a larger boardroom with more than 10 people, and everybody has a different point of view and everybody has personalities? So how do you manage that kind of a room?
Well, if you're sitting in the chair position, you can manage it better, right? Yes, I mean, I've had a number of workshops with my mentees. Those people have taken my courses, and that's easier to manage because they want to learn knowledge, right? But some people may have opinion. And that's fine, and it's good that they are interacting with an opinion. So that's a learning group. But when, for example, running a project, that's where the difficulty arises, especially when there's pressure on delivery. So you're sitting with the builder, you're sitting with the project manager, you're sitting with a number of consultants. How do you manage that process if you're in a chair position? Again, it's about listening. And yes, control, if there's two different opinions, let them speak, but let them open up. But then you make the final decision. Show a bit of authority and say, look, but recap it. Don't just say, okay, I agree with you, so we're going to follow that way. Right? Make sense of it. Apply logic. It's probably the easiest. And if the person's not willing to accept it, that's their problem. It's not my problem.
On your journey on the AI tools and
yes,
different kind of tools, so how have you, what started your journey on AI and what kind of tools you've been using? Because there are multiple options available out there, and how do you use them? How detailed your prompting is? How do you format your prompting? How do you fine-tune your prompting? What do you do on that front?
That is very interesting. So as you mentioned, I've written a number of books. Now, it would take me probably a year to finish a book because it's all based on the research. Right? I'll make sure that everything's done. When AI came along and I started writing articles, I'd ask questions. So my research is a lot faster nowadays, right? But the important thing is prompting. Right? We hear about prompt engineers. And I would, if I'm going to write a book, it's not putting about the name of the heading. There really goes into depth. So when I'm writing a book, I would brainstorm about the subject. I would have a chat with AI. And I don't use one large language model. I use several. Right. So by brainstorming, it gets understanding where you're getting at. And then, like any book, once it's got a full understanding, we start drafting table of contents. Right? It's, as a typical book, you derive the skeleton, then you fit the body parts afterwards. And then we go into depth. And then I would similarly use another large language model. I say, critique this book for me. Right. So coming back to the same thing, if I've got an idea, like I'm doing at the moment, I've got a product which will be launched soon. It's called Polydocs. It relates more to the construction industry or development industry. And that's about a central management system that automates a lot of things.
Okay.
The big thing about a project, it's document intensive. You've got contracts, you've got quotes, you have specifications, drawings. There are reams and reams of documentation. It's all about data. So the system that is applied is automating that data, right, into its filing system. So I've got a core foundational thing called Polycore that does all that work. It has an intelligence layer. It's got a writing system, and it's got the vault, which is encrypted. So all the data sits in the vault. But the important thing is retrieval of documents is critical because that is time consuming. I was speaking to a property developer in the States who's doing a project here in Australia. And he comes from an ESG background. And I told him about the system of data inside this vault that you can ask it to give you a report from that data of your ESG at that certain point in time. Are you following the metrics and all that? And he said, wow, simply because it should take him months and months to do a report. So I can see something like that being applied to my specific industry. Yeah, and we're working on that particular concept at this stage.
In the fag end of your career, or in the typical career, one is, when do you decide one needs to retire? Well, when do you decide that how much work is enough work? Is that age-driven or mind-driven? What's your views on that?
I was talking to a friend, and I talked to a lot of my kids. I'm at the stage of retirement, but I just cannot see myself retire. There are too many interesting things in life. Like AI. I mean, people ask me, how do you come up with these ideas on AI? And I said, you know what? I'm a different mindset because I've been through 45 years in business, property development. And I said, if I had AI when I was 20, imagine the things that would have helped me, right? So that's why I find it so interesting to talk about the subject of AI and how it can help others, to not necessarily automate and make it a lot easier, but improve systems, right? So, yeah, look, I just cannot see myself retiring because there's so much out there to keep one interested. And another reason for that, like my parents, my mother never retired. She kept on working even in the 80s. My father, unfortunately, was not the same. He had an easy life and retired early, and I could see him slowing down. His cognition was not the same level as my mother. So, yeah, I don't think I can see myself to that level where I'm sitting and doing absolutely nothing.
In terms of, because all this 45 years of, you would have ups and downs and failures,
Yes.
and then of many ways of form. And every time, I think I've failed many times in my
Sure.
career, in 20 years, but you learn and become better. What are the learnings from your failures in your life?
Resilience, right? Yes, we all have failures. I had my failures. Yes, I made a lot of money in property development. Yes, and as mentioned, the Asian crisis. Learn from it. Pick yourself up. I remember losing quite a significant amount of money. And yes, my late uncle, was my mentor. Just son, he said, "You're young enough, pick yourself up and keep going." That's what it's all about. Yes, it can be very frustrating, very annoying. But look at all the success people in the world. Why are they successful? Because they learn from failures. They don't learn because there's a book out there that tells you how to become successful. Because we can all be stubborn.
Yeah.
When you're in your 30s or 40s, you think you know you can everything, right? And that's where the failure happens. But the book is not going to guide you. How do you pick yourself up? Yes, and motivation books and that. But I think more embedded in your mind is the hurt that you went through. And you've got to overcome that. So pick yourself up, right? Don't lose focus, okay? But understand why, very important, understand why it failed. That's the only way you're going to improve.
You've been talking about that, you're mentoring quite a few people in your work as well. So for young people who are, mid of the career, for them, should we seek mentors? Why should we seek mentors, and then why it's important for us to understand not just mentors from your own sector, but from other sectors as well?
Sure. Mentors in all levels, it could be personal matters, it could be career matters, all those things. Mentors are great. I mean, all my life I've had mentors. But the important thing for a younger person, don't believe because you've now reached your 30s or your 40s, you know everything. You don't. I learned that because when I was at an age, I was pretty arrogant at times, thinking I knew everything. But that's when failure happens. But to get somebody with a bit of wisdom, to give you guidance, certainly helps. I still have a mentor. He was at my age, but he's a good friend. He was my mentor in my early part of my career. There's in Australia, the developer from Sydney, and we catch up every now and then. We just talk about things in general. Yeah, and he went through the hard road himself, and he became our mentor. Yeah, and we still catch up every now and then just to see how I'm tracking. But yeah, he gave me some great tips. Right. Yeah.
In conclusion, if I can ask you 3 things one need to have in life to just be good and do great things in life, or top 3 things one need to create or embed in their normal lifestyle? What do we do?
Yeah, look, as you get older, we all formulate opinions, right? We talk about, let's take it for example, I was sitting and chatting to some relatives of mine, and we're speaking about different groups of people. One thing I have learned is that you're not going to be able to deal with everybody, whether you like it or not. I believe now you've got to set boundaries, understand them, park it, and say, okay, this is not me, that's fine, but I'll get along with life, right? So that's the one thing I've learned. The second one is just be happy every day. Find your happy space. It gives you a better life balance, right? Be relaxed. Don't take everything to heart. Always stand back, right? And try and understand the problem. Always also look at the other person's problem, or you have an issue with that person. If somebody's hurt you in life, I'm a firm believer, forgive and forget. Not necessarily forget, but forgive that person. And that comes from the mantra like Mandela. He forgave the people that put him in prison, but in his heart, and it makes you a happy person. The other thing is, well, my opinion, never stop. The third one, never stop learning. Keeps you going. As you get older, life's too exciting.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ron. Thank you for your time.
Dev, thanks very much, and thanks for having me.